Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. It is Sunday, therefore, we are gathered together in the formation of Intercontinental Group of Awesome, so named because we span two different continents across a gigantic ocean. And when the time zones line up, it is on Sundays, afternoons for some, evenings for others. We get together and we play, usually small press, tabletop RPGs together. We are deep into the Atlantica City extravaganza campaign, which began with Power Beyond Doubt, a PBTA Supers game from our own gen. And then I took us on an excursion to Atlantis to play Pandora Total Destruction, which is the game that we are continuing to play here. We have just finished up Act 1 and gotten to the doorstep of Act 2. We rolled for all of our scene points because this is a darn near GM-less game in that people are purchasing scenes with points that are rolled at the beginning of the act. And luckily, everybody rolled well. So we avoided that thing that I've had trepidation about with Pandora Total Destruction from the moment I first read it, which is what happens if someone rolls a 1? No one rolled a 1. Everyone rolled equally. You're all equally good. You're all smart. Everyone is above average. And that's what we like here. So there is no initiative for buying scenes. I have 5 scene points and all players have 4. One rules thing we talked about, that if anyone watched last session, perhaps there could be a bit of confusion. When the GM rolls successfully, because in this game the GM does have to roll dice, that will not complete steps in the scenes. I made a mistake in that we misinterpreted it. It's over and done, and we fixed it. So from now on, the steps are on you, my friends, the players. You know what? We've been playing for quite a while, and we did hang out a bit. So I'm not going to go through the rigmarole of long intros. If you are 5 sessions into this and don't know who is playing, I'm sorry. Go back or stay with us and pick it up, because we have like names at the corners, and it's all good. We'll figure it out. Young supers attending an academy in a biodome at the bottom of the sea near Atlantis, which is a legit nation in our setting, an entire species of humanoids, a variety of species, in fact. And in last session, the crew dealt with the fallout, finished up a gigantic fight with King Crab and Taiki's stepfather, and survived, and then got blessed out for sneaking out of the academy. And we had a repercussion scene, and that ended our act. And then we rolled dice to figure out now, which is where we are. So let's put it out there. Does anyone have a particular scene they would like to purchase first? Okay.
I've got a scene in mind.
All right.
Be interested in an interaction scene with Ella. I know that's very, very vanilla, but it's a scene, and I don't see any particular other purposes to it than interacting.
You guys are all grounded. I love it.
Yes.
Cool. Let's see. So, interaction scene is a player spotlight scene. The supers want to openly meet and interact with other characters introduced in the story. Go out and meet new characters. These interactions potentially lead to future developments in the story, or simply make for a nice distraction from a hard day of training, which means there are no steps to get out of the scene. There's also no setup of expectation of mechanical rewards. And spotlight scenes cost.
It's per scene type, it looks like.
Yeah, 1 scene point, spotlight scene. Okay, so it'd just be one point.
I thought
Good.
that interaction scenes were free.
I hope they are. That's
I believe they are.
Because each one has its own.
yeah, that's awesome too, because that means you're not paying for something that doesn't give you a mechanical reward. Interaction. Let's do it.
All right, because I think Tekla's gonna find a way to chat alone with Ella. Swipe.
Cool. So you guys had the repercussion scene. Is everyone cool if we have a few days pass? Is that no one needs an immediate thing? Felt like we didn't have anything we immediately needed to follow up on. There's, of course, an inquest that has begun on what happened vis-a-vis King Crab getting so close. You did share with, I believe it was with Deva or Asimar about the did Taiki say that was my stepfather in front of Asimar? I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to rewatch. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So Asimar is aware that the stepfather was there underneath the water and all that stuff. There's no video footage for anyone to confirm. They just go by what you say. So to get to Tekla meeting up with Ella, do you imagine that this is taking place in the dorms after one of your classes, somewhere else in the biodome? Where would you catch up with Ella?
I mean, what's Ella's typical circuit? It's probably in the dorms.
Yeah, I think
Or
Ella's
a place with a similar level of privacy.
Yeah, privacy with Ella, of course, is a thing that she doesn't
It's
often
relative.
give, but she also seems to always be dear people. She doesn't spend a lot of time completely alone unless other people say stay away from me. So you probably catch her. I mean, just she very well could be in the little lounge suite area in the middle of where your group is. But if you're looking for something a little bit more,
that seems fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep, I'll walk up to her and put.
She's playing on a DS, like a Nintendo DS, like the classic style. You know, it's got the little thing clamshell flipped up and everything.
A little cup down in front of her and be like, it's a cold brew espresso with some cinnamon syrup.
Oh, wow.
I just wanted to say thank you for getting us all to go outside the other day.
You're not mad? Because we all got in trouble.
It's not your fault. It's King Crab's fault. If it weren't for him, we would have been in and scot-free.
She smiles and then reaches over and she pauses for a moment and then she picks it up and takes a sip. Oh my God. Did you sneak this down here? Because I haven't tasted anything this good in the cafeteria.
I came with an AeroPress and some coffee beans, so.
This is great.
Thanks.
Are you okay?
Next
You didn't
time-
get hurt, did you?
Looking at my character sheet. I got ripped up a little bit in that first explosion, but I'm healing up just fine.
Good.
Yeah. How about you? I didn't notice anything happening to you, but
No, I've kind of Got the golden ticket. I got thrown into the bus, which, by the way, very soft.
Really?
Yeah,
I always wanted to know what it was like inside that bus.
it was weird, but good.
Yeah.
The
Cool.
kids kept like talking to me, which was odd because I couldn't read them. They were just
I was going to ask, like, but it makes sense, right? Because they're cartoon characters. They can't have minds, right?
right. But if they came from Taiki's wish, if I'd gotten any read, I guess I would have gotten the read of what Taiki wished them to think. Anyway, I got nothing.
You were sneaking up on that sorcerer guy. Do you get anything from his mind?
Yeah, I was trying to get closer to really understand it. It's thoughts aren't usually filtered through a language at a certain level. Surface thoughts can sometimes be a little tricky for me, but if I can get deeper, it's just the thought, right? Rather than something that's come out to the point to be expressed out loud and therefore has societal, language, linguistic, all of that layer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I get it.
But he was really angry. I got that. Really angry.
That doesn't sound
Tortured.
great.
Tortured and just like he just wanted to throw it at somebody. He was so mad.
Yeah, it seemed like he was doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing to put the whammy on you guys, but it didn't feel good.
No. No, it literally felt like I had the Grim Reaper tapping on my shoulder.
That sounds super scary. They don't really talk about that, like on talk shows or in the comics. Oh, it's kind of fucking terrifying.
I fought a giant crabman with lava coming out of his hands.
Yeah, guess what? Being able to get surface level thoughts, not super helpful. Not helpful at all. I was totally Xana Jaina up in the hood there. Felt very Gleek the monkey.
Well, we're here to learn. So.
Right, but what if I'm just Doug?
Which Doug?
Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Is that too deep?
All right. Play out of character for a moment now. I gotta be like,
Jen got it, but does
as
Tekla get it?
me, it's challenging for me to play somebody who has not read a lot of comics.
Sorry. Feel free to read or be.
I'm gonna
Tekla
retcon that like the only comic book that Tekla has read is Generation X, and that's it.
Gen X. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, would that get you? He was a New Mutant. Was he in Gen X?
Was a New Mutant. He comes into Gen X as Douglock.
Right.
So you get that feedback. You get the get the history. You don't really like palpably feel the so-called uselessness of Doug. Because I think Doug's power is pretty cool, but you don't take that with you into a battle.
No.
Dear the X-Men, why did you use Doug this way? Anyway.
Doug Ramsey. Love him. Anyway, so Doug, like Ramsey, I'm sorry, was that too far?
Like Gen X is the only comic I've ever read, so I get it. Okay. Sort of.
Well,
because before he was like a goo robot,
he was guy who could read and understand all languages, which is amazing in Star Trek. Not super good when you're fighting Magneto.
Yeah, I would not put him on the Thunderbird or the Blackbird. the plane. The big special plane. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But yeah. Somebody somewhere at this campus, I'm sure, has something for you to learn.
Yeah, but I'm probably just going to be like support.
Probably me too, come to think of it. I mean, I've got a physical power, but I'm still basically a normal person.
Yeah, I guess.
And
How
speaking
far
of,
have you ever gone
Hmm?
back? Have you ever gone forward?
I don't go back in time. Time travel's not real.
Okay, you just like stop it then.
I just stop it or divert it or concentrate it.
Yeah.
But it goes just one direction. I think the longest, it's hard to map out because the only thing I'd have to reference is my own internal clock, right?
Right.
But
okay, so say you're at a baseball game.
Mhm.
Could you stop time and then after the pitcher's throwing the ball and it's in the air heading
Right.
towards the batter, then move the ball? Can you you can, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I could switch the ball with a hot dog.
But the hot dog would just fall to the ground, or would it have the same inertia as the baseball?
I can't transfer the inertia. I could give the hot dog additional inertia. Like I could throw it myself while time is stopped. Right.
True. Okay.
And then concentrate time into it to add more. Right. But I'm not necessarily good at targeting speed. Right.
Right.
So I might be way off. It might be a 50-mile-an-hour hot dog, or it might be 500. But yeah, I definitely feel I don't know how I feel about being here with so many people who can do so many destructive things.
Yeah.
But I know that most of the people here, they've probably made some terrible mistakes.
I don't think you need big powers to do that.
No, I just think big powers makes it a lot worse.
Yeah. Abrupt subject change. If someone liked you, would you want to know?
I mean, I'd want to hear it from them. And if they can't put it together to tell me, I mean, I'm not blind. I can usually figure that out.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. Like most piners think that they are a lot sneakier than they really are.
So if
it
you were
gets
to
really
guess,
sad.
who do you think?
Who do I think
likes you? Yeah.
Who do I think likes me? Tekla sort of combs through her memories. She's like, is it Joaquin?
Wow. You're really good at this. Yes,
Yeah.
it's super Joaquin. I'm sorry.
Because
You don't I don't think you like him back, right?
No, I'm gonna have to let him down easy. I like him friend-wise, but not otherwise.
You should. He's pretty sweet.
He's a cool dude. I don't usually make very good friends with the big meaty guys, but they're just people.
Can I, like, what? Why not? Not trying to talk you into it, just more like curious.
Oh, I'm just gay as a peacock.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah. But normally, like back at school, my friction with big meaty jockey guys is that I've always been this goth math bull nerd / slacker troublemaker.
That sounds pretty great, but also probably troubling.
It was a full schedule. I barely made it to my senior trip.
Where did
I
you
mean,
go
I
for
almost-
senior trip?
The Venice.
Neat.
It's pretty. And like there's some scrabbling trepidation. The tech was just like, fuck off. Fuck off. Stop it.
What's wrong?
Bad shit happened in Venice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It could have gone a lot worse.
That's good. Hold on to that.
A very physical flash impression of a wet hand wrapped around a brick. Yeah. Yeah.
She puts down the empty cup and comes over and puts a hand on your shoulder. There's no time travel. So what happens happened. All you can do is go forward, right?
Yep.
Is there anything where you wanted from the scene?
No, I think that solidly rounds it out.
Cool. I think I will purchase a scene unless someone was itching, like waiting patiently. I will purchase a group scene, I think. What am I gonna do? GM spotlight scenes, training scenes. I'm nervous about training scenes because they take so many steps to resolve. So I'm going to not do a training scene. Battle scenes are also pretty
You
good.
have access to all the player ones, don't you? As well?
Yes. All
Is it- you have
players
in
can create
addition
any
to-
of those. And in addition to all the players, the GM can create these as well. So yes, I have access to all those. What do I want to buy? Yeah, I want to have a scene. I was thinking about like a group scene in class. I'm just trying to think about how to codify it within one of the scene types. Could be.
Or you could plan some clues.
I could. Indeed.
Or let us discover something.
All GM spotlight scenes cost 1 scene point.
Mhm.
Training scene has 6 to 16 steps. I'll never purchase a training scene unless I have to.
I mean, I was thinking about purchasing a training scene because I got enough points and I want to have one at some point. We need to buy the
You're
apple,
right. You guys need it, and there is definitely
It's-
a reward at the end,
it's-
which just makes it worth it.
Literally core to the play of the game,
It's true.
sadly.
Okay,
I mean,
then
we could just say we don't do all the steps. We do fewer steps.
Could house rule it? Maybe it's just a 1d6 step roll.
Uh-huh.
I think
that-
1d6 step roll would make it a lot more palatable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do that. I mean, we don't have to punish ourselves with
We roll
trainings.
D3s.
Right.
Right.
Or we could roll 2 D3s to make it a bit swingier, or it wouldn't be swingier.
It would even it
actually.
out, yeah.
It would
Yeah.
even it out more. Right.
Mhm.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I was literally thinking swap each D6 for one D6 for one D3. Direct correlation.
Okay, I'm gonna go d6 step roll plus 2 steps for each additional. So it's 1 step per super involved plus 1d6 step roll because it's not
And
additional
I
training scene in the current.
think especially the cost is, yeah.
But then if you purchase this, if we want to
Yeah, we
have
all
some
get
benefit
to-
from it, we need to put our own scene points into it, right? We can participate without paying scene points, but then we wouldn't get the benefits of the training scenes, right?
Right, but I don't think that we have to pay to make the scene happen. It's not a
No.
group.
It does cost
Yeah.
one
Expenditure.
scene point. And I think the
Mhm.
question is, does everyone have to pay to get into it?
I
This
feel
cost
like it.
applies to all supers.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
that
one
cost
scene point.
it's ambiguous because they talk about the cost applying to all supers after they talk about the escalating cost per
Mm.
additional training scene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
So it sounds like first training scene in an act costs 1 scene point. And then it's plus 1 scene point for additional trainings, but we're not doing additional trainings.
whoever creates a center
Oh, okay, wait.
determines which actions have. If multiple players spend scene points for their super to benefit from a training scene, decision must be agreed upon by all players. So yeah, you do have to spend a scene point to join in and get the benefit.
Yeah. If the students complete a training scene's goal and spend at least 1 scene point at the beginning of the scene, they can lower a single action die by 1 level. It's in line 45.
Oh, thank you. Lower a single action die by 1 level.
Mhm.
Nice. So you could do your conflict from a D12 to a D10. Instead, lower your overpowered die or increase their power die
Mhm.
by 1 level by spending 3 value points of any combination. Okay. So
Yeah.
the movement of overpower and power costs an extra thing of the value points.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. It's a bunch.
Complicated.
It,
Also,
it is.
Don't know if it's really that useful to lower my conflict die, because as we've seen,
It's-
it's not that bad having high dice, right?
It-
Don't.
Yeah.
It's
So
been an interesting
Yeah.
discovery as we've played this, that you come in and think, oh God, this havoc is terrifying, but it's not that bad until
No.
3 havoc, where you
Mhm.
fail, so you don't get a step, and it just keeps getting a little bit worse.
But then you can spend value points.
Exactly. There's so many ways that you can push it down. It's interesting.
Right.
There's a little bit of this mechanic, not like it's
And
a lot
also
softer
intentionally-
landing than I expected.
You can also intentionally fail the scene, which would give you the whole, yes, okay, you failed, but you wouldn't get the havoc, right? That is nice, I guess, from a player perspective view,
Mhm.
but it kind of takes away of the whole, oh my gosh, this is going to go bad now.
Right.
Sorry, I'm
There's a little
digressing.
bit of this after having played Apocalypse Keys, where I'm like,
Mhm.
this I don't know how, maybe we're doing it wrong, but there's a part of this where it doesn't exactly live up to the premise of being terrifying, because there's so many ways to soften the landing of, anyway, it's a whole lot of talk. I think we all generally agree, but we're committed to at least give this a little bit more further to continue our exploration.
I would like to request that before we start a training scene, Jen and I have an opportunity to generate another value point between both of us.
I think that's great. Let me see if I can
Otherwise, we don't.
purchase a scene to make that happen.
Yeah, like the past couple of minutes has actually been me pawing through the training scene text to be like, is there a way for me to gain value points in this scene? Shit.
Nope, just spend them.
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys are just one shy and it takes 3. So that's a great request. Thank you for asking for that. And let's see what gets us value points. Hell, I will purchase that scene to make it happen. So
I'm thinking a highlight point. but I think-
highlight exactly is right where I was headed. So we are on, it's 1 step per scene point, and you get +1 value point at the end of the scene. Effective action. Cool. So I think it might be not a full-on training, but perhaps a review in class, because one of the wishes we have from last session is like interaction with the staff. So let's set a scene with the 4 of you, as well as Ella, Joaquin, and Odette, Meteorite, who we have not had in a scene. All of you are currently in one of the classrooms with Yellow Jacket and Triton. Yellow Jacket is out of her suit. She's wearing a power suit. You can see the picture of what Yellow Jacket normally wears on L6 in the I know. I like, is that picture better, or I don't know. I kind of like that.
I
too.
like both pictures for Triton. I don't know. There was something kind of charming and hokey about the claymation one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an actual statuette of Triton from Inhumans that I thought was pretty dope, but then I was like, oh man, this is better. And
This
so
one's cool though. I like the scaly texture. I also like that he's got like a scale beard kind of thing going on.
It is got a scaly beard. I dig it.
It's got a 5 o'clock fish shadow.
Fish shadow. Yes. Love it. So we frame up, you guys are in a classroom that is set right against one of the biodomes. Yes.
Just to make the ruly bit, sorry.
Okay.
Any of us who want to get a value point will have to spend a scene point to do it.
Yes.
If you don't want to or don't need a value point, you don't have to, then we'll have less steps because it will go up steps per scene point.
Thank you very much. Very good clarification. But it sounds like Taiki and Tekla, you're both spending a scene point. And that means we are at 2 steps. Sabine, Alex, do you want to spend scene points for Dorothy or Refuse?
I think Refuse should try to get some scene points, because having 3 of them in one value is probably not too
Yeah,
great.
that does sound. Yeah, I'll spend a point.
Okay.
Let's spread that
Well,
out.
I would love to highlight something in the scene, because I didn't get to in the last highlight scenes, but I will abstain because I have already 5 value points.
You can if you want. It costs a scene point. You're happy to.
I'd love to, really.
Do
but
it.
Let's see where this can I decide after we've played a bit and seen how long the scene is going? The whole steps. I don't know.
I'm okay with it. I think that's a pretty decent.
Yeah, if it drags
request.
on and we wanna just say, okay, this has gone long enough.
Sure.
now.
That's fair enough.
I'll say, okay, we'll
house rule it
something
that you can buy in if it seems like the scene is progressing quickly enough to bring you in. We've got a couple of pages that we can just like edit in post-production if we want to make room for that. That sounds cool. And that I like you making space for the people that desperately need that. So if we begin with the classroom, it it has there are desks. There's a couple of desks sized for not normal human-sized individuals. They're arranged in a circle, and you can actually see the domes, the left wall of this particular classroom. So the light coming in is like these odd phosphorescent from the exterior part of the biodome. And Triton and Yellow Jacket are in the middle of the scene, in the middle of the circle, so all of you are facing them. Ooh, oh, Dorothy, so sad. I just saw that message in chat there. Still harmed. Good to know. What is the harm? Like, what do we see? Dorothy's harm that she's decided.
She kind of burned herself a little or she used too much power and she tried to keep it inside. And that's when her eyes started bleeding. I think she has you can't see much. She's just kind of pale and a bit withdrawn.
Like internal bruising kind of deal.
It's mainly mental, I think.
Wow.
She's a bit down, just like, oh my gosh, I destroyed the dog and I'm so well, anyway. So she's just withdrawn and less bubbly than you're used to, but you don't know her that super well.
Cool. All right. The vertigo? Oh, vertigo complication?
I was
Yes.
puking in the bucket.
Yes, I think that scene allowed you to resolve that complication. So your vertigo is no longer a complication.
I got it all out.
Yeah, you got it all out of you. Aw, sweet. Cinnamon espresso all around. That's such a great peace offering. We pick up with Triton giving everyone an update. The inquest continues, but what we have found is that King Crab appears to have support from someone inside of the academy. There was a communication out of the biodome, and we believe he received it and came here to intercept your manta ray. I'll tell you this to keep you as informed as possible. Kowalski?
So, and I'm like gesturing towards Yellow Jacket. 1+1. Somebody send a message to a super
From
villain.
outside the dome?
From inside the dome.
Hmm.
It wasn't us.
Yellow Jacket says, I have already subjected myself to questioning from Paula Kanu, as well as Triton, and I leave my fate in their hands because I know I am not in cahoots with an asshole like King Crab. So, sorry, but the easy answer isn't the right one.
Don't we have a mind reader? I mean, shouldn't it be easy to figure out who it was?
Triton says, once we have been able to help Swipe refine her abilities, and we are confident that what she hears is accurate, that will be an excellent answer.
Unless it's her.
I don't think it's her.
But Dorothy is thinking, she's pretty much useless, right? But she's only thinking that. Never say that.
Well, I guess. Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
Well,
Go outside, we get killed. Great.
Well, you are
Feel better already.
remanded to remain within the academy. So you should be safe. But still, forewarned is forearmed.
And it potentially could have been anybody that saw the ship leave.
And Swipe says, it's not meteorite. I don't think it's anybody in this room.
So you're still reading this?
I can't stop reading you. Especially you.
Can you wear like a tinfoil hat or something? Just
Yes, that will
Yes, I
stop
want
my
you
powers.
to do that. Yes, yes, do it. Do it.
You'll be safe from my ability to read your mind.
I know where there's tinfoil. Just saying.
Triton says, we have there are only power inhibitors, and that defeats the purpose of having you here at the academy. To dampen her powers, she needs to learn to control them. Ella, you understand how uncomfortable you're making your classmates. What? Do you want me to lie and say I can't read them? Is that what I'm supposed to do? That's my superpower? I lie about my superpower? Trent says, no, that is not at all what I mean.
That'd be more of a refinement.
Ella snickers a little bit.
I hope Taiki's in range of like a little fist bump below the table.
Nice. Triton says, let's bring some focus in. We're here for a reason. I think we have teachable moments from the conflict you had with King Crab. It was your first live fire exercise, for lack of a better term.
I definitely don't think that's true.
Triton takes a moment to work out the double negatives.
But since we got here, it is true.
Taiki, share with us your experience in the fight. You, based on the after action report that was shared, did utilize your powers to attempt to rescue everyone from the conflict.
You did a great job.
Thank you. I called on something I knew was safe that could get us away. But I'm not sure I did. I tried to push King Crab off, and maybe I should have tried to bring everybody in close. I don't know if I did the right thing exactly to be most successful, but it felt like, since it was, I mean, I grew up, Mrs. Frizzle was always a best friend, and and because of that, it really felt real when I called her.
When you called her, did you imagine you had a conversation with Miss Frizzle? Did you imagine her as a living, breathing individual? Or did you just wish for that cartoon to be represented within the middle?
Well,
of
I
your
definitely
conflict?
thought of her as like a real person, but it was more like I wish she would come. I wish she would come help us. So it was kind of shouting out for help.
I see. See if you can explain to the class how your power works.
I ask for something, and when I do, I feel like it can be there or it won't. And if I'm mad or if I'm really emotional, then it kind of goes astray. I don't have as much control. But if I'm calm and can see it and really connect to it, then it comes easier.
See. Then your strength comes from serenity.
My control does. I think, though, honestly, more powerful things come when I'm kind of out of control.
So we should be pretty grateful that you reached out to Miss Frizzle.
Probably, yeah. I mean, when I get mad, lots of things can get messed up.
Your
Note to
classmates,
self, don't
your
make the
classmates have
reality.
all suffered tragedies. With great power comes great danger. That is why you're here at the academy, to learn to control that.
Yes.
All of you have undergone a battery of tests before you were asked to attend this academy. And so I share with you all, in case you have not shared it with each other, that not one of you intended the harm that you have brought by using your powers. That's
Some of it I
important.
definitely did.
Tell us about that.
Well, I guess I didn't do it with my powers, but he was shooting at my classmates. I could have come up with a different answer, but I didn't. I didn't know if I'd have time. I wasn't really feeling cute. I guess it takes a really lighthearted and optimistic outlook to think of something like wrapping a telephone pole around somebody harmlessly, or spraying a bunch of cobwebs on them and hanging them from a separate light post.
You tried to save lives. Would I have preferred a refinement? Maybe after you graduated from the academy, perhaps. But at that moment, with your own understanding of your powers, I think you did the right thing, Tekla. Intent is important.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Dorothy, you learned a bit about your powers during the conflict, did you not?
No, I mean, nothing I didn't know before.
Oh, well, your
I'm
use
sorry,
of power underneath water was
Oh yes, okay, that I learned
You?
that I hadn't done before. Didn't feel. I apologize. I was thinking I should have paid better attention. Yes, I learned that. That was amazing. It's harder to push water. Oh, and Ella will totally pick up that Dorothy is totally lying.
Ella's face kind of tightens a little bit, but she holds her tongue. Was it more difficult to utilize your power underwater than it has been in the
I've
open
used
air?
my power once before, and in the tests before I came here. So I apologize. My comparison scale of comparison is rather limited.
You need
I'm
to
sorry
change
about
that.
the dog. I'm sorry about the dog, though. Didn't mean to do that.
It's quite all right.
Mm.
The repairs are nearly complete. No one.
Will I be billed for that?
No. We Atlanteans don't have the same concept of insurance or billing people.
Okay, that is good to know. That is a relief, I guess.
Maybe that's what they don't want us to learn at the academy.
Insurance.
No, how to get by without insurance and billing people.
I'm sorry to say that the kingdom, the royalty of Atlantis, are not interested in capitalism.
Yeah, that's good for them, I guess.
Be right back, guys. I'm going to go and do an undergraduate degree and then a master's. And my thesis is going to be about how fire is central to capitalism.
Triton actually chuckles at that. Cooked food. That's your one invention, you earthlings.
It's so good, though.
Aren't you
It's-
earthlings as well? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Earth as in ground, as
Oh,
in
okay.
open
Oh,
air. You're right,
okay.
though. There's been a great deal of conversation about how we should differentiate each other, or if we should.
Okay.
Dirtlings. Just a suggestion.
Whatlings?
Dirtlings.
Dirtlings.
I don't want to be a
sounds-
dirtling. Except maybe
No, you kind of did.
during Burning Man, I'm okay being a dirtling, but otherwise, no.
Ella turns. Have you been to the Burning Man?
No. No, you guys, are you kidding? I'm 18. I don't make that much money.
Always wanted to go. It sounds super crazy.
Honestly, it sounds like it was cool in the 90s. And now it's just Coachella, but half the participants pay somebody else to make something that looks cool for them to tootle around with. We should do our own Burning Man.
Underwater. We can figure that out, though.
Drowning Man.
Drowning Man.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we can set things on fire under the water. Just
Well, Joaquin says, I think I can get behind this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This drowning
Um,
Get me
man
enough
sounds-
metal, I
according-
could build a big ass statue.
Yeah.
That which is
Operated
dead
according
cannot
to Academy rules. What?
That
That
which-
which is dead cannot die. Sorry, that's the drowning man of the Iron Isles.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. I did. That's right.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
I think when you drop that quote, the only Triton has done just right over his fin. But Rika, Yellow Jacket, she gets it and kind of chuckles, does the Yep, I got that. She's totally a Game of Thrones.
I doubt Dorothy got it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Come on. What? No.
Dorothy
don't
having
think-
HBO? Come on. That's
No, and also it's I think it's rated R. It's R rated, and Dorothy wouldn't watch something
very
R-rated.
R-rated.
Had she read them, she probably didn't get to watch it.
Poor baby. No R-rated films.
Hmm.
That's rough. That's rough.
So now we're at a bit of a pause. What is, because I've been enjoying the scene, but I want to get it to where we can hit those steps. In order to get to those steps, we need to have some kind of conflict. I'm trying to set up some potential conflict with Triton asking you guys to be open, but I've really
I feel like
I mean, Refuse was like just on the edge there with Taiki, like she was gonna hit the mother hen back the fuck off, but it didn't get as pushy as
right.
So you kind of
I mean,
gripping the
highlight makes-
table, starting to rise slightly, and then edging back into the seat.
Yeah, but you should show off something you're good at. I mean, I get that Refuse is good at conflicting with people and tearing down teachers, but maybe we could just go to some sort of training scene where everybody has to show off their powers.
maybe they need to demonstrate something that they
Yeah.
learned from
Nice.
play.
Yeah, that sounds like a great setup. Yellow Jack will say, well, all of this feel, felt, found stuff is great. Love it. But I think maybe we talk more about actual practical application. You guys kind of whipped out your powers on King Crab and kicked some ass. And sometimes you can pull off something and not be able to repeat it. It takes practice. Dorothy, I'm sorry, but you've only done your powers twice. How do you ever expect to control it?
I expected to be taught it by a teacher. I apologize for
Triton,
that.
do you have power over weather?
Sounds snarky,
Triton's
but
like, I don't have power over weather, but that I understand Dorothy's meaning. Yellow Jacket says, listen, we all came into our powers our own way. And it doesn't happen with theory crafting.
you're not
kid.
going to teach me how to control my powers. Is that what you're saying?
Triton says, no, that's not what we're saying.
Good.
Rika, I do agree with Rika's assertion that you guys are not using your powers enough. This is as safe a place as can be created for you.
1,000 meters beneath sea level in a dome.
Yes.
That's going to go well.
In a
We're here.
dome.
We're here. We're here. Yeah.
I mean, they probably have some power dampeners or something here, right? They wouldn't want us to go full on, I don't know, power surge thingy without having some kind of control, right?
Yes.
Well, Dorothy, we're talking about like the biggest end of our powers, but really, what is control but knowing what your smallest end is? Can you make a tempest in a teacup?
Rika's like, oh, this girl,
I mean,
that's good.
There's this cup, right? Cinnamon coffee, and Dorothy just punches her hand on the table, and you will see the waves there. There you go. But I get your meaning. Yes, I do. I don't know if I can do that without shattering the cup all over and getting y'all scratched up. That's why I don't know.
Let's see.
Let's find out.
No, yeah, no, no, I don't want to scratch y'all up. Okay. Maybe we can I'll take the cup and I go somewhere where I'm in the way of the cup if it explodes and everybody is
We
not.
cut to that open area.
Mhm.
That's the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
the little river and the
And everybody starts moving their desks around so they can still watch.
Mhm. And I'll just pour some power into the cup.
Okay. So very goth moment. I really want to circle back to that. Sabine, do you want to pay your scene point in at this point? Because you could potentially step through it in a highlight scene to get a value point out of it.
Or I could just explode the cup.
You could, if you
I
want
will
to just.
I will just explode the cup.
All right, sweet. So you pour some power in, and then boom, cinnamon coffee splats across the ceiling. We see the little pieces kind of rotate around from all of the power that you poured into it. And Triton, he does the nod of like, Enrique says, hot damn.
Yeah, and also I've my clothing is because I did not get long. I mean, I'm wearing the costume now under the school uniform, right? But there are tears in it, and the hair is loose, and yeah, because Dorothy is pretty much scared, angry. Her eyes are filled with dark clouds right now when she turns back and says, "See."
I could do that.
But did you?
Well, if somebody volunteers that cup, I'll smash a cup.
That's not the point, is it? And there's some slight lightning playing around in her, in Dorothy's eyes while she forces a smile.
Relax.
Yeah, I think the point is that you used your power, and so you're a little wet. No one got hurt.
And you smell great.
I do, but yeah. Yes, I do.
And no one is upset at you.
Everything's fine.
And nobody's super hurt.
Oh.
So technically, you did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yay me.
You
I'll
now know
come down
exactly the force it takes to tear apart a teacup. And now if you can go like half of that, maybe you'll be able to stir your coffee with it.
I have no idea if I can do that. That was the lowest setting I know, and she's kind of floating over the ground now on a wind thingy.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't go lower than that, but now you have an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's sort of a laundry agitation amount of power. I'm sorry to keep joking about it, but
I don't know what a laundry agitation is.
I don't think that's a joke, Triton says. Tekla, having a term to understand different levels of your own power can be helpful.
like laundry agitation, like when you throw a load of laundry in the machine to wash that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the amount of force that it takes.
Yeah, I don't think you're selling the joke
to turn it.
I think we've moved past a joke to something that could be potentially useful for Dorothy.
Yeah, it's trying to. I mean, if we're talking physics wise, then it's output in joules or kilojoules, and that's actually
maybe a little too far.
Not,
but Dorothy,
it's not
if
practically
you can,
helpful.
If what you did with the coffee cup, if you imagine that and give it a term and it can replicate it, then you can build on it. Try to go lower than that level, higher than that level.
Okay.
You now know the base, your current base. The minimal amount of power.
Okay, and I think I know the maximum amount of power too, so yay me. I learned something. Thank you. I think your fuse wants to say something.
Kowalski.
Okay, so my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay. Cute girl in the front row. Wish me up metal.
Cool. And who are you pointing to?
I'm pointing to Taiki.
Nice.
Wish me up some bell. Come on.
Oh, wish you a bell?
Metal.
A bit of metal.
Oh.
Anything will do. Anything's all. Paperclip. iPhone.
Okay.
And I'm like hopping on my balls of my feet, rubbing my hands together. A little bit of sparks of electricity.
I wish my I'm trying to sorry. Give me 2 secs. Brain working.
Okay. No worries.
Processing. I wish my little dragon were here. And so I am attempting to bring in, I have a little figurine of a dragon that I had at home. I'm imagining it. So I'm trying to bring something in that I know very distinctly. I have a scene point in this, so I'm going to, do it as a roll. Let's see how good or bad that goes.
Sounds amazing. So we'll start off with a default of a 6 target number. You do not have any complications that will impact this roll, so it stays at a 6. Do you have any value points that any values that you feel apply?
Disassociation and escapism.
Okay, so we're down to a 5. You appear to be interacting with your overpower. Is that the right
Okay.
combo?
Sounds right.
Okay. So then you're rolling a D8 and a D12.
I think my lesson comes into play.
Ooh, your lesson, drawing from memory, create stronger wishes. That allows you to increase or decrease the target number by 1 after the roll. So your
okay. So it's after.
I think it is. So let's just say it is. Because
Okay.
that seems to be fudge. I'm probably wrong. Every time I think I've figured this thing out, it turns out.
All right.
But
I'm
we'll
a
call
naughty
it that.
person who did not bring up the roller yet.
That's okay.
So let me bring that up real quick.
Someone give it with you. Thank you.
All right.
D8 and a D12, and it's currently a 6, but you can modify it by 1 up or down.
A D8 and a D12. And that's a
D6. I said
D12.
D6, so you meant D12. Thank you for
D8, D12. Rolling. 11.
11. So if you 6 or 7 and 11 would be 1 havoc at a 6 and 1 havoc at a 7. 2 havoc at a 5. So if you want to move it down and get 2 havoc, you can. Totally up to you.
I don't want to get 2 havoc. That's
What was, because I think I've got a bond, so that could affect things.
Oh, it could. Probably a thing we should have worked in ahead of time, but that's.
Will it drop it? Let's see, because I'm at a.
You're at a 6.
6.
Wait. No, you're right. Because the
it said
the value disassociation escapism applies, so you're at a 5. You were right. And so we started at a 5. You have a lesson that could push it up to 6.
Yes, that's what I want to do. I'll use my lesson.
Push it up to 6, then that means it goes from a havoc of 2.
And a bond wouldn't help
1.
a lot. And a bond wouldn't help a lot.
Bond would not
I need,
actually.
a ton to get me back down.
Yeah.
So 1 havoc is what we're going with, but
collateral damage, or you want to take a complication?
Let's take collateral damage, I guess.
Nice. So you successfully summon the figurine, and there's some collateral damage. Do you think it like comes through the ceiling and tears a hole in the ceiling? That sounds.
Ooh, I like that. Yes.
And did you ask for it to come to me, or were you asking for it to come to you?
I think I said here.
Okay, so just general area.
Cool. What does it look like? And is it made out of metal?
It is. It's it's fairly small, like this, but it's kind of a fairy dragon figurine, cute little thing, unpainted. That would have been part of my very elaborate fantasy life that I would have played with.
So cute.
And so I suppose as it smashes through and appears there on the sorry, and then I kind of smile seeing it because I haven't had it here in a while.
Nice.
And move up and hi Puka. Kowalski, be careful with her.
I got you. Ah, right. Step forward. And then I'm going to try and make it dance in my palm while sitting cross-legged.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Let's see how this goes. Base target number of 6. Do you have any values that would apply?
Well, I've got a less. I don't think I do.
I don't think you do either. You're not being a rebel. You're actually doing exactly what the teacher asked. I don't think analysis paralysis is impacting you. You're doing it.
No. And the bond, it's plus or minus 1. And do I decide? Would we decide before or after? And does it...
Let's take a look at the turn sequence because it talks about bonds.
Yeah.
So reduce the target number by 1 for 1 value lesson and bond each that applies. So it does sound like I misinterpreted, and the lesson and the bond should happen during the target setting the target number, not after the fact, which makes it less powerful, but okay.
Okay.
So are you applying a bond?
I feel like this is
Wait,
it feels relevant.
Can you apply a bond to yourself? I thought you applied bonds to other people.
Yes, right. Someone else applies a bond.
I'll apply the bond because I have one with
thank
you.
And
especially since I've asked you to be careful.
Yeah.
Ooh, perfect.
I think
so
I definitely can apply a lesson. I mean, I think it's a more. This kind of codifies what I've kind of said, but
touching something gives you fine control. Yeah.
Yeah. So that touching one end of a large cable gives me fine control of the other end, which is a new lesson. But she always knew she could have fine control of something right next to her, touching her.
See if the dice agree with you.
I haven't rolled.
are you raising the target number or lowering it? You've gotten it to a 5.
Yeah.
With the bond, you can change it. With the lesson, you can change it. Well, I'm sorry. Actually, it starts at a 6. You've got a bond and lesson to apply. You could take both of those and increase the target number to an 8.
I'm using my power, so I might increase the target number. I think I will. I will go up to an 8.
That's weird.
And then the roll.
Because I copied some of this. I'm sorry. So lessons say if one lesson applies to your action roll, increase or decrease the target number by 1. And then the standard use of a bond, and that talks about how to get it. God, I feel like the more I learn, the less I know about this game.
Well, I'll be rolling 2 d12s. Okay. So I think I want to increase the bond.
All right. Well,
if I'm allowed to increase both types.
That's the only part where I'm a little concerned is, does the bond only allow decreasing of the target number?
I'm on the player character page. It says increase or decrease.
Right. On the player character page?
On the turn sequence.
It says decrease.
Yeah.
But it also says lesson decreases, but lesson can increase. I copied that straight from the...
Should we just side with one ruling and then we can find out later for definite?
Bond can increase or reduce the target number by 1. Lesson can increase or reduce. I'm reading adjusting the target number on page 80 of the PDF.
Well, I
Values
think-
lower.
Hmm.
Values lower. Bonds and lessons can increase by 1
If
or
I can't,
decrease.
if I can't raise, I think I'll keep it at 6.
You can raise.
Okay, then I'm gonna roll my. Well, I'll add another d12 in there. Okay, then I'll roll it. Oh, I made a purple one. I don't want a purple one. Not to disparage the color, but just let's see if I can. There we go. Change the colors and add another d12 and add another d12. And then I'll roll those 2. And I hope I don't get what I just got. Nine.
A 9.
I got a 9.
Okay.
Just a little havoc is a treat.
Yeah, you only miss
Yeah.
it by 1.
Yeah.
I've just updated the turn sequence to say reduce the target number by 1 for value decrease only, lessen plus or minus, and bond plus or minus, so that it adheres to adjusting the target number. That does mean that the official Pandora total destruction character sheet is misleading, and we've made it better. So,
Yeah.
sorry, I will not break my arm, patting myself on the back as we have worked through this and fixed it. But havoc of 1, which means that
Yeah.
that is successful. You've progressed with a step. You get 1 havoc. What havoc do you wish to purchase? Collateral damage or taking a complication?
It would upset me to destroy the little metal dragon in front of Taiki's face. So I'm going to take a complication.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. Is
Oh,
I think your
That
complication
like
is
hurt
gonna
me
be-
inside.
okay. Complication. I think
Maybe, I mean, just as a, unless you've got an idea, I've got an
What's your
idea
idea?
that maybe it just looks too easy. And that means they're going to have to make me push the other end of the limit. Because if low end is,
oh,
know.
that's an interesting complication. How do we express that as a complication?
Overconfident.
Ooh, yeah.
well, I was thinking more like that the teachers would
Excessive
be,
expectations.
yeah.
Oh, overachiever. All too easy. Let's go with all too easy because it's a Star Wars quote that tickles me.
And you described it as you made it dance. Do you mean by that you're like able to move it?
As in, like, I imagine it's little figurine, so big kind of thing. I imagine it's like scampering, or like it's alive, not like an expertly animated, but a reasonably kind of puppeted movement.
I think my eyes are wide as I watch it. Oh my God.
And I just
What?
reach
That's-
out I put my hand out and just let it kind of, as soon as it kind of leaps, it just kind of goes dunk onto the desk.
That was amazing. And I will give you a massive hug.
It's nothing. Small things are easy.
You didn't shatter it. That's amazing. Well done.
Oh, I failed. And it's much single cup. Sorry.
I mean, you
Next
can-
time.
you can make the dragon smash your cup.
I can.
I don't think she'd do anything like that. I look at the little dragon.
That was impressive, Kowalski.
It's easy.
Yes, it did look very easy for you.
I'm gonna go sit back down.
So let's see. Taiki summoned it. So really all we have left, like it's rich GM voice. We need to find a way for Tekla to use some powers so we can get that last step.
And Alex, did you add a scene point in to get the value point?
I did, yes. I did that straight away at the beginning.
So that is 2 steps on a 3-step process at the moment?
Correct. Because Sabine, as yet, has not bought in to get that 4th step, which is totally cool. We discussed it ahead of time, but now Tekla, I think it's Rika, Yellow Jacket says, I don't know if we can tell if you've used your time powers or not, Tech.
Dozens of times throughout this class. Shaking my head like, no, I'm making that up.
Swipe snickers a little bit, and she says, here we go. And
Let's not tell on ourselves.
She snaps her hand and this little dagger pops out and she throws it at Swipe.
Oh shit. Well,
What do you do?
I stopped time.
Awesome. Yes, you stop time. Triton is like,
There's a slight look of like a smile forming on Refuser's face. It's like it's just started as she's like recognize what's happening, but it's frozen.
Okay. Of course you would, Karen.
oh. I imagine Tekla saying that like out loud, but Refuse won't get to hear it.
Yeah, nobody
cool.
gets to hear it.
Base target of 6. Do any values apply?
Well, I definitely can't let others suffer.
Yep. So now we're to a 5. Do you have any bonds or any lessons you'd like to use here? Multiplying momentum effects.
I definitely
Opposite.
don't want to do that. Or if I do that, I want to do it in the other direction. But that's also kind of not something I want to do. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to take the dagger out of the air and then very impatiently, stare at Rika. It's not the worst test.
Oh, you will have a squall of wind coming right your way because she threw a dagger and Dorothy's like, no, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to, let's see, my target number right now is 5.
Target number is currently a 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely protecting somebody right now, which
For sure.
makes me very, very sweaty. I'm going to use my bond to increase my target number to 6, I think.
Okay, we're back up to a 6 target number. You're rolling.
I don't think you can use bonds on your own rolls still.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But I can
Yes,
use
thank you.
mine to help you because the wind is coming and that might help you, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you,
Cool.
Sabine, for reminding us of that one. Cool.
Sorry
All
to
right.
be a
No,
stickler.
no. We're learning this game. Do not
Mhm.
apologize. It's good.
Mhm.
It's good.
All right, we rolling.
All right.
Oh my God. All right.
12.
So
So we
that's
roll down here from a 6 all the way up to a 12. Looks like, oh, you've peaked into 2 havoc.
Oh no.
But
2
a success.
havoc.
So we will finish out that clock and close it. And we will take a look at, sorry, wrong tab. 2 havoc. You can buy 2 of the 1 havocs or 1 2 havoc. Become harmed. +1 value point.
Tempting. Tempting. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. What does this look like?
As time starts again, there's just sort of this ping sound. It's like the sound of a bell snapping. And Tekla is just cut, not in the way that this dagger would have cut her, but it's something else, some angry set of molecules just reaching some kind of violent consensus.
Nice. And then time comes rushing back. Dorothy, you tried to summon a wind, but you see, where's the knife at? Tekla didn't catch it. Did you knock it to the ground? What did you
Oh,
do?
I grabbed it. It's
Oh,
in
cool.
my hand.
Nice. Okay. But the knife didn't cut you, but somehow you were
But somehow I'm cut.
nice. Dorothy had tried to summon a wind. Triton finally says, "What?
That was a little hasty.
I have faith in you." Rika, we'll talk about this later.
I just dropped the knife on the ground. Still works.
So it says, "Hey, you're hurt. Triton, I can escort Tekla to the medical bay." Triton says, let me take a look at that.
All right.
Takes a look. Yeah, we should get that bandaged up.
It also looks a little frostbitten. It's weird.
We really need to get that bandaged up. Do you want Ella to escort you, or are you okay? Go on your own. Your choice.
I remember where it is. It's fine.
Okay. And as you start to exit the scene, Triton will turn and say, "All right, Joaquin," and then we'll like fade out of that scene because he's an NPC and that was a pretty long scene. But everyone gets a value point who paid in, and Tekla, you get a second one for taking harm.
Blood, blood, blood.
I want to know, Alex, if you're interested, it would be something that we can do now, but we'll only be able to do it once per act.
Mm-hmm.
But want to develop our bond.
Ooh.
I'm down with developing bond. Is there a specific scene?
We would spend a scene point, and it will take us up to our second level of bond.
Yeah,
I think so too.
yeah, I'm with you on that.
That means you can move the target number up or down by 2. That's pretty dope.
That is. By the way, I'm just curious. Has anyone triggered profile things?
Oh, thank you for asking that question.
'Cause
Did you use your appearance to draw unwanted attention to yourself? Refuse?
no.
Okay. Dorothy, did you overcome an embarrassing situation or avoid a difficult situation to shift? God, that takes a lot of setup. I'm gonna have to actually plan a scene around.
I mean, I'm now sitting in the classroom with my torn apart clothing and my hair is a mess, but I don't think that goes to the level of what that thing says.
Okay. Auras receive a value point at the end of the scene. Their appearance draw unwanted attention to themselves. Use their power to take stand on one of their values. Well, disassociation and escapism feels like you actually use that to modify the role. What do you think for Taiki? So value point. And then cloak supers. When you narrowly avoid exposing or revealing, that one's pretty much not going to happen in the academy, I'm sorry to say.
I basically took it because I'm like, but I don't glow or anything, and I don't transform. So,
I'm just wondering if, because the second half of the aura profile, would I have? Did I manipulate Taiki into using her powers? Is that a reading of it, or is that doesn't feel like that's?
Did you use your appearance to do that?
Yeah. No. No.
Well,
I really did use that. Appearance.
let's think about appearance. Because I don't think it's just your good looks, right?
I think reputation might also be able to fold into that. pretty easy.
I'm pretty sure that Taiki would not have normally outed about having I'm going to say yes. Mostly because I
Like, that's
think
the points
it's
in
an
the-
edge case, and also we need some more value points out there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a bit unfair. I feel that, I'm sorry to be that person, but it's a bit unfair if the auras can get value points from their thing and the
Yeah.
others can. And
I think everyone does have
especially
two things,
Tekla,
but yeah.
is just like
that's not a bad point.
Yeah, the Tekla can basically almost never.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I feel like in Tekla's situation, orienting the narrative inputs and outputs of her profile could actually be pointed towards because she looks normie, you know, people really doubt her.
Mhm.
So it's less about exposing her secret identity. Well, it's more about exposing it purposefully rather than other people clouding it and assuming it doesn't exist, you know?
Or is it since a lot of your power, a lot of times your power usage could never be noticed by somebody. You could save the day completely single-handedly, and everyone's like, well, luckily the debris just fell this way and we're all fine.
Right. God, no, that just reminds me
That could be
of some pages from the Ultimates, I think. There's a scene in a comic where Quicksilver
I saved
is
your
there, and
I was
he's
here the whole
like,
time, yeah. I saved your lives like 10 times.
he's not lying either.
Yeah.
Like you see
Yeah.
it in the action, like Quicksilver wipes out all of these dudes with machine guns and has a duel with another speedster, which exhausts him to no end. And so, you know, afterwards he's like taking a breather, and somebody's like, I haven't seen you do anything once in this fight. Stop slacking off. And he's just like, the ultimate looks could kill look.
Avengers, if it was all edgelord.
Yeah, but this could have applied in the scene where you were messing with, where Ella was trying to crib from you, right? And you were just stopping time to mess with her. That's one point where that might have been applied, that you were using your powers and nobody actually
retroactive value point.
Yeah.
That cut you got in that scene, that came off of a consequence, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Did you pick that consequence?
Yes.
Does that sound like perhaps it made someone's life more difficult, and you kind of, you know, in this idea, you know, theoretically you could have caught it without getting cut, but here's this teacher doing something very, very dangerous. You got cut by it, thereby making their life a little more difficult.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Another edge case. I
Another
lean
edge
towards
case.
yes.
Yes. All right, I accept this. Thank you for the edge case example.
Nice interpretation.
Next character edge case review.
So what game did you play today, Rich? I played Edge Case Judgment Game. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but still leaves me out because we're in embarrassing situations, avoid difficult situations. I mean, I don't think if I choose to shift in a manner that causes damage to innocent bystander's property. Oh, wait a second.
Cup.
I totally caused damage to an innocent bystander. I destroyed maybe more than one cup.
Sure.
Yeah. I made a mess of
Edge case judgment.
Somebody has to get a cup.
I think I made a mess of that schoolroom.
You did.
Right?
You did. We even talked about it hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, you get it. Look under your seats. You all get a value point. Good work.
Now Taiki. Or have we done Taiki?
Yeah, I've already got mine.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff. Well, that was pretty interesting. I'd like to take a little quick break here after that scene, and then
Yeah.
we'll see if we
Yeah.
can squeeze in one more.
I think that.
Okay, we're back, and Sabine, you're interested in purchasing an interaction scene?
Yeah, with Taiki, Tara, because she said something that Dorothy perk up, I guess.
Cool. So Tekla leaves class. Is like at some point the class has concluded. When does Dorothy approach Taiki? Immediately after? Like
Probably at the moment when Taiki seems to be at least a bit at ease. I guess she doesn't want to jump on Taiki the second that, and she has to.
Taiki still has her dragon because you summoned it from home, I guess.
Yeah, so I probably took it back to my room, and you could probably find me pretty easily there with a book.
I imagine that's pretty usual for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will knock, of course.
Yes.
Hi.
Come in.
Hey, hi, Tara.
Hi, Dorothy.
Wow, that's really cute dragon.
Thank you. I'll reach down and offer it for. It was. I had a friend at school who she knew I liked. Well, I like books about dragons, and she gave it to me. I named her Puka.
Puka. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, my younger sister likes dragons too. So more like the fluffy variant that are basically ponies, but can breathe fire, I guess. But well, anyway, I wanted to ask you something, and if this is creepy or weird or anything, just Kitty. I'm sorry, I'm so easily distracted. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Yes, no, that is not what Darcy says. If this is in any way creepy or weird, then just tell me and I'll do a toodle off and we'll
okay,
talk about it.
Sure.
As you said, you can wish for something and it becomes true. Is that
Yeah, sorta, yeah.
Can you wish my powers away?
I don't know. I blocked swipes from affecting me. I don't know if I could. Are you sure that's what you would want?
More than anything, I hurt people, not just a few or anything. People died, and people lost their homes because of what I did. Not just a few people, hundreds. I'm so scared of them all the time. I want to be a good person. I want to make it sunshine and rain and stuff like that, but that's not what happened. I thought maybe if you could wish them away, I could go home. I probably can. They probably still lock me up, but I don't know.
Dorothy, I mean, I could try, but I think we should talk to the teachers first. I shouldn't do this just.
That's a good idea, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we should. You're right. Absolutely. I just wanted to ask you.
I worry that if I try to do that, though, that there's something. What if your powers are such a part of you that I wish them away, you wouldn't be the same?
I don't know. Okay, truth be told, I don't feel like I'm the same ever since I did that the first time. I used to be a nice girl, okay?
You're still a nice girl.
Yeah, but I'll try. Thank you.
Look, let's talk to the teachers.
Mhm.
Let's think about what it is about your powers that make you unhappy. And maybe we can find something there, like maybe making you forget how to use them,
Mhm.
or
Oh.
suppressing them.
Yeah, anything.
I don't want you to feel scared all the time. I know how that can be. And this place is the first place I've felt like I could get away from that. I'm sorry that it isn't doing the same thing for you.
Well, they told me that if I didn't do well here, they'd knock me out for good for what I did.
That doesn't seem right. I wouldn't let that happen.
I'm dangerous.
Everybody's dangerous in different ways.
Yeah, but not everybody destroyed half a state with their powers. I mean, maybe not half a state, but a few countries.
No, but you have a good heart. And people with a good heart can learn how to use what they have in good ways.
That's what my father said, actually. Yeah. Thank you.
We'll work on it together.
I'm hugging you now.
I'll hug you back. Don't worry. You're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're a good friend, Tara.
I kind of smile and give a little giggle, and I haven't had a lot of friends.
That's a shame because you're a great friend.
So are you, Dorothy.
Yeah, hugging you again.
See.
Nice.
Pick the apple.
I like
Feed the
it.
chickens.
So interesting. Sorry, there's the rivals scene. For a while, I was like, yeah, I don't think that I set this up to have that, but I realized that maybe I was wrong. But I'll save that for rivals for next time. Looking at time, do we have any scenes we could squeeze in a few minutes, or should we wrap things up?
I mean, I can do a flashback.
It's true. And we are going to house rule the flashbacks do not have steps to get out of, because yeah.
Okay. In that case, if that's okay, then I'm taking that space.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty brief flashback, and I think it happens kind of during that discussion that Dorothy remembers. And what we see is it's an empty room, basically a prison cell room, right? With a table, handcuffs. Dorothy is sitting there. She's wearing prison clothes, like the orange stuff, and she's wearing a power inhibitor, whatever that looks like. And there is a video playing. It's a newscast. Hurricane Oz strikes Kansas. You see devastation around the state, like destroyed houses, cars being tossed around, people standing there looking at their destroyed houses, like, where are we going now? Things like that. And Dorothy's just sitting there and she's crying. And then a person comes in, probably some kind of agent, government official, and just tears into her for what she's done, for how terrible that was, how dangerous that is, how they're going to lock her up, how she's going to Atlantis now, and how she's never going to see the sun again. And then he leaves and somebody else comes in. And I think that's either Triton or somebody who we might have seen at school, maybe the director, and goes like, well, Miss Arbor, there's an alternative. If you'll listen to me. And Dorothy looks up like, anything? And I think we cut there because that's where they offered her to go to school.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I tweaked the scenes write-ups to clearly state that interactions and flashbacks are free. I've removed the step expectation from flashbacks, so it works similar to the way they would in Preludes. And hopefully that'll clear things up for future.
But I need to pay scene points for these, right?
You do not for the flashback.
Okay.
Flashback, we're going to determine those to be free, but like, let's not go flashback crazy. A flashback within a flashback within a, but a flashback like that was perfect. Really good. Excellent. So I think we'll bring this session to a close here. And as there are no end of session mechanics, we will end as we like to do with a little bit of feedback for stars and wishes. We start with wishes so we can end with stars. Who'd like to start with some wishes? Remembering, as Sabine pointed out, that a lot of the wishes you can grant yourself by purchasing the right scenes. Just love that.
I have a wish. I would like to have some. I mean, I've had connection with Tekla and I've had a connection with Terra, but I don't need to, but I want to have some sort of connection with Kowalski, be it positive or not so positive. But
I am down with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I also wish to create more bonds.
Yeah.
I was very starved for scene points last act, and that has resulted in fewer bonds.
Yeah, I would ditto like to have some pairing off of scenes based on least interaction previously. So kind of.
Okay.
I think we've got a very good, strong point around Tara of interaction. We need to create some extra stability or instability, like you say.
New pairings. I'll think about that. And then you guys can, of course, help make that happen too. I'll throw out the wish, which of course we can easily purchase. Now that we got everybody stocked up with some value points, let's get that training scene up there. So I'll just note that.
Yeah, I'll add
Alex,
the
more?
wish of I want them to. I want some repercussions to that. It was like too easy complication. Like, I want it to be pushed out of her comfort zone using her powers. I want some, big end of the scale. How far can you go before you lose control type of scenes of training.
That sounds fun. I like that. Tyler, do you have any wishes?
Yeah, and I don't want to put you in a box on it, though I suppose it really will come down to whoever chooses to spend the point first. Our first training scene, I felt like, because we didn't know the game very well, had a rather direct, just that kind of one person against us doing a protection.
Yep.
I think a more complicated layout for the scene will make it varied, which is why I sort of wish we would do an interaction training scene, which I think plays well with what we're talking about, what they're trying to teach us on how to do stuff in control, because that's using powers to overcome more, normally things. And like I said, I don't want to put us in a box because there's some others that could also apply. But I suppose the wish is to
a big drawn out fight is not as interesting as some of the things in
is to have it be an expansive training thing that we kind of weave through different pieces of the scenes with.
Yeah, here's a couple of fake city blocks. Go find the fake bombs or that kind of thing.
Or explore. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Or explore this, undersea area that, has plenty of natural problems and environmental issues and, that sort of thing.
And it also kind of underscores the fact that we are actually pretty powerful. And if we are all four of us facing against one teacher, it just reads like, oh, these are just teenagers. And this one teacher is not really having that much trouble facing up against them, because we are actually super overpowered. And I feel that one teacher shouldn't want to go up against us because we defeated King Crab. I mean, for crying out loud, he is supposedly is dangerous, right?
It's very true.
And the way those step mechanics work, it's, again, we talked about, you can't do a knockout blow. So if it's just going back and forth on one thing, it feels like nothing effectively gets done.
Yeah, I feel like the idea of more like this is a training montage of, action beats, emotional beats, but not technically one action sequence of events would be more interesting.
I suppose that's my wish. Other than that, we can frame up scenes. So I have lots of interaction I want to do, but they're there.
Cool. Well, Tyler, you went last with wishes. You could go first with stars. Do you have any stars stand out?
Yeah, I thought this one was cool. Rich, I liked the training room setup, the classroom setup. I liked how you played Yellow Jacket and Triton as, very different perspectives on how to push at students. Thought that did a good job. I saw you working your way into Yellow Jacket being that voice as the scene progressed. And I thought that was really nicely done. Because, we could kind of use someone poking at us. And Triton is so sweet and supportive and kind of zen. It's good to have, the former villain there to be, oh, come on, all your touchy-feely bullshit. It's all about the power. So I thought that was really well done. And I thought the scene setup was cool. Along with that, I liked how we were all in our ways very supportive of each other. There were some touching moments, and we saw a lot of each of us dredging up bad things from our past, or having those personal inner moments together where you could see we are developing a niceness. And along with that, Jen, I love that you went and spoke with Swipe, and that scene was really not what I was expecting, and yet perfect, because there were no accusations, no recriminations. It was a whole different scene, and I thought that added a ton to your character and to the story. That was really nicely done.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. Alex, you're up next.
Okay, well, I would just a little bit of a dittoing, but I like that the Jen scene with Ella kind of created a more complex pattern of relationships. It wasn't a we all don't like Ella, and it made it much more interesting, the dynamic, having it's not just one way, monolithic viewpoint of the character. And again, I really liked that we got to see the teachers. Okay, I'm trying to think of one. Because all mine were literally just presented much better from Tyler. I will step back and I'll jump back in with mine.
Okay.
And I will probably have all the ones I come up with taken as it happens. But I really enjoyed the session.
Good. Thank you, Alex. Jen, what about you? Any stars left?
Oh, for sure. I enjoyed seeing the continuation, the consistency with just how cocky Kowalski is. Just so arrogant, actually.
I love that it resulted in a complication, so the mechanics get to support that too. That was neat.
Yep, and knowing that the arrogance is actually shadowed by some problems, some issues, makes it very delicious. I thought that Dorothy asking Taiki if she could wish her powers away was so juicy, so very straight to the point. So that was nice. And I want to see where things go from there. Who knows? Well, where will we end up together as a team? And yeah, I enjoyed the instructors. I like how surprisingly thoughtful Triton is. Just a big marshmallow. And I liked seeing new NPCs in a scene, even if they didn't do very much.
Didn't do much. Nope. He was
but,
just present.
The mentions that they're there helps this feel like a school. So that was good. And yeah, that's my stars. Want to leave some behind.
Okay, I got one.
Much, Jen.
I'll take it. And I don't think Sabine would have taken it because she probably would toot her own horn. But I really liked that flashback. I thought it told lots of parts of the story. Like you could have had a scene where the actual, hurricane, tornado was happening, but you kind of managed to really elegantly just get so much into one.
Yeah, that was
scene.
Really well
it's just a room, a screen, two people came in and just, small, quick interaction, and it was like got so much across. Really, affecting and efficient. And then ditto everything that Jen said.
Cool. Sabine,
Yeah,
any stars left for you?
I don't think so, but everybody else had a pretty good go at the stars. That was all fine, and the lovely scene, and I like the classroom scene that we all had. I love the dragon. I love the whole Refuse, like, get me some metal, and Taiki like, oh, I have a dragon. And I love that then Refuse was so careful with that thing. That was also that was unexpected, actually, because she was before I can smash it, and then she was so careful, and yeah, that dragon was a bit awkward and dancing, and I love that. That was fun. It showed more heart than the character usually shows, right? And I'm here for it. I want to see your heart, Karen Kowalski. So I have a feeling of each other's hearts, but yeah. And I also love Tegla when she went into her and physics, blah, 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 over explanation. I really love the way that character is so cerebral.
Yeah, because that is where she comes from.
Yeah, I like that. That was a lot of fun. And of course, Tara with the dragon, and she's always so vulnerable and lovely. I really enjoyed that.
Ditto on all the mini stars, but a couple of things that I highlighted earlier on, but just wanted to draw a finer point on. For all of my griping about the system at points today, I enjoyed that Refuse's cockiness was mechanically a complication. I like that the Havoc choice that Kowalski made, or I'm sorry, the Havoc choice that Tekla made. So I'll take harm. These choices that you have are interesting. They're things that I see in pick lists in PBTA, but it's cool to see it expressed in a different set of mechanics. So I do think there's some pretty neat stuff going on in Pandora Total Destruction that we've uncovered for again, to go along with the things that I have also pointed out earlier today, such as it's not really total destruction. Like, maybe I'm not pushing hard enough, but it doesn't, like, you started at a 6 and you guys are already as like bad as you're going to be. So like, I don't know. It's like, it's enjoyable. I'm looking forward to exploring through the arc. I'm glad that we are pushing along some plot towards what's going on within the academy. So I look to do some wishes for me, some scenes to tease out that mystery, and hopefully we can close the loop. So thank you all so much for playing some more PTD, and
Thanks for running.
we'll bring this session to a close.